Hello everyone, welcome back to Wujidao's channel. Today we talk about the sword of wisdom. Let me ask you this, what is the sharpest sword in life? It's not made of steel, it doesn't hang on the wall. The sharpest sword is the one inside your heart, the sword of wisdom. It's invisible, yet it can cut through the hardest burdens, of regrets, endless worries, and the chains of the past. Both Stoicism and Buddhism use the image of sword. In the Diamond Sutra, wisdom is compared to a diamond blade, indestructible and able to cut through all illusions. In some Taoist traditions, priests wear robes with two long ribbons shaped like sword tips, symbolizing the sword of wisdom that severs worldly attachment. This sword is not for fighting enemies outside, it is for cutting the knots inside, because the greatest battle we fight are not in the world but in our own heart. In my years of guiding people, I've seen many trapped by their own history. One man failed in a critical college entrance exam and spent the next decades telling everyone how that single day ruined his life. Another lost a big in stock market, and for 15 years, every dream ended with, if only I hadn't invested then. A woman was passed over for promotion at work, and years later, she still repeats, if only my boss had seen my words. All of them were caught in the same trap. They had no sword to cut through the past. And yet, look at the people who rise to the top in any field. Do they regret? Rarely. They analyze, they decide, they act. And once a choice is made, they move forward without looking back. That is the power of sword of wisdom. So how do ordinary people wield this sword? The secret is just one word, awareness. A Taoist master once said, when thoughts arise, it is sickness. When you don't follow them, that is a kill. Buddhism echoes, don't fear thoughts arising, fear only falling to notice them. Imagine this, you're walking down the street, and suddenly your mind whispers, you're such a failure. If you follow that voice, it spirals into shame and despair. But if you catch it in the very moment, this is just a thought, you've already swung the sword. The thought dissolves. This is the wisdom in action. I once worked with a woman who had been hurt in a past relationship. Even years later, every new romance she started collapsed under the same suspicion. You will abandon me too, won't you? Her fear wasn't about the new person, it was the ghost of her past, still chaining her down. I taught her to practice awareness. When doubt surfaced, she told herself this is the past talking, not the present. Each time, she imagined raising her sword, cutting the thought loose. Slowly, she learned to stop letting old memories poison new beginnings. Eventually, she entered a healthy, stable marriage. She said, without the sword of wisdom, I could have destroyed my own future. There's an old poem. I draw my sword to cut the water, yet the water flows on. I raise a cup to drown my sorrow, yet sorrow grows stronger. This is how most people deal with pain, by force or by escape. But pain doesn't vanish that way, it multiplies. The sword of wisdom doesn't mean fighting your thoughts head on, it means saying them clearly, and in that clarity, they dissolve on their own. Zen has two famous sayings. One master said, I can cut off 100 thoughts. When faced with the world, my mind does not move, and wisdom grows daily. But the sixth patriarch, Huineng, said, I've no tricks, I don't cut off 100 thoughts. Thoughts come and go, yet wisdom still grows. Two perspectives, one truth. At first, you cut. Later, you don't need to. Because once awareness becomes natural, the sword rests quietly in your hand, yet every thought is already cut. How can you practice this in everyday life? There are three techniques you can start with. 1. Label the emotion. When a strong feeling arises, don't get lost in it. Simply name it. This is anger, this is fear, this is regret. Naming creates distance. It's like raising your sword. 2. The 5-second break. When the negative impulse comes, pause and count to 5. Most destructive reactions dissolve if you just give them a moment. 3. Anchor in the present. Choose a simple anchor, a deep breath, touching your wrist, or sipping water. Whenever you catch yourself replaying the past, use the anchor to return to now. The moment of return, that's a sword cutting the chain. The real suffering of life doesn't come from events themselves, it comes from our endless attachment to them. A failed exam doesn't define your entire life. A financial mistake doesn't doom you to poverty forever. A broken relationship doesn't mean you're unworthy of love. It's our mind that turns these events into permanent scars. The sword of wisdom exists so you can slice through those illusions and free yourself. Every one of us needs a sword, not to fight others, but to cut through our own entanglement. That sword isn't out there, it's inside you, waiting to be lifted. We live with awareness, regrets lose their grip. We wield the sword of wisdom, every day become a new beginning. As one ancient verse says, when the dust is cleared, light appears, shining through the mountains and rivers. So, raise your sword, cut through the chains, and step into the freedom of the present moment.